You're listening to the Better for America podcast, presented by AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca Weber, and this is your AMAC podcast, Better for America. I'm so excited. We have a great show today. And I even woke up this morning feeling optimistic and encouraged for good reason. In a few minutes, we'll be hearing from Keith Booz. Now, Keith Booz holds a Bachelor of Science in Health and Wellness and has been practicing fitness training for over 34 years. He'll be joining us today to share some great tips on how to gain control of your physical health by creating good, lasting, and lifetime habits. Very excited to have Keith with us. He has been in many ways a personal fitness mentor. There was a good period of time where I was not doing any exercise or very little exercise throughout those years when I was raising my family. And Keith gave me 3 very important tips that literally changed my life in a very good way. So we'll hear from Keith in just a few moments. But I wanted to talk to you about why I feel so optimistic. And it's tough right now, I think, because so many of us, we look out there and we see what's going on. We see the brokenness in our government, and we wonder, how the heck did we ever get to where we're at? And then when we turn on the news and we see mainstream media, you're almost made to feel like something's wrong with you if you are not championing the policies and initiatives that are coming out of the far left. But I want to tell you all to take heart, don't give up, and don't feel defeated. There's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that AMAC can do to really ensure that the voice of your voice and the voice of many other Americans that stand with you is heard. And so in 2021, we'll be working on a number of objectives. We'll be working on election reform. We'll be working to protect your Social Security. We'll be working on health care. And we'll also be working to ensure that veterans have great access to health care, whether it be through the VA or through their own medical facility of their choice with vouchers. We're very excited, too, to address the growing national debt. AMAC will be working hard to reduce our national debt, but we're also going to oppose any kind of increase in taxes and any really tough regulations that kill small business and hurt our economy. I think about all of the wonderful delegates and chapter presidents that work in their states. These are AMAC members that are doing such great grassroots work, ensuring that at the state level that AMAC's voice is heard and that we're pushing forward an agenda that is good for America. But I just want to remind you all, it's impossible for the left to deprogram all of us. They will try, and they've been talking about it. I mean, we've heard even Katie Couric, who said that all Trump supporters should be deprogrammed. And I think that you and I both know that that's a bunch of malarkey. It really is ridiculous. And why is it ridiculous? Because we believe in individuality, and we believe in personal accountability. We believe in perseverance and the right to pursue your God-given talents. And all of us have them. And so I don't think that any of us should feel suppressed because the left wants to sell us things that are not good for us. In other words, they want us to think that the government can make better decisions over your life. They want you to think that they have the solution to your problems and that if you let them shepherd you around, that they'll solve all of your problems. We're hearing this, we'll pay for your health insurance. We'll pay for your college education. We'll give everyone a free home. And it's us Americans who understand we've really put the work in, and we're probably have reached some level of success because we took personal accountability for the choices that we made. And then we looked for our own ways to correct any choice that maybe wasn't right for ourselves. And that's empowering. So we don't want the government to become the end all and be all. It is each one of us who has a greatness, and we need to tap into that. Government is important, and they play a tremendous role in things like the military and keeping our nation safe and secure. The left wants to expand government, and they really do want government to infiltrate your daily life, and they want to shape the future of our country and even rewrite our history. But take heart. If you've joined or renewed your AMAC membership, you've got to know that you're already making a difference. Again, I mentioned that we've got dozens of people working behind the scenes on legislative priorities. We'll be working very closely with the 117th Congress throughout the year of 2021. And this is a great time. Rather than feel defeated because things didn't go the way that we thought they should, we roll up our sleeves and we get to work. And when we do that, it's only in doing the work can we wake up each and every day thereafter and continue to build on the good things that we're doing. There's a lot to be grateful for. And January, I think, is a really good time of year to write down your goals. Goal setting is very, very important. It's crucial, I think, in business, but in your personal life, it's a great idea to write down the things that you want to do. A lot of us talk about, wanting to shed a few pounds or get in better shape so that we feel stronger. And those are really, really great goals to set for you. So coming right up is Keith Booz, and he's going to share with you 3 tips that can change your life. This is advice. He's a lot of fun. He's a great guy. But if you listen carefully to the 3 tips that he's going to share with you, I won't give them away. I've put them into place. I've actually personally put them into place about 4 years ago. And over 18 months, I lost 20 pounds by doing these 3 things. And it's all very easy. You can do it right from the comfort of your own home. So coming up with us is Keith Booz. If you like this podcast, please tell your friends and family to join AMAC, share the podcast. I'm excited to have you with me as Keith Booz, our fitness mentor and trainer, joins us in just a moment. Thank you. A lot of people ask me, they say, Rebecca, what are some of the great AMAC member benefits or services that AMAC offers? Well, today I want to tell you about a great service that the AMAC Foundation offers to both AMAC members and to the American people at large, and that is a Social Security advisory service. Now, it's very interesting. There really aren't many people out there that have a lot of solid information on Social Security, how it works, when you should collect. I mean, you've got to do the math. Should I collect now or should I collect later? What if you are a widow and you're unsure whether or not you should collect your widow's benefit or your own benefit? These are great questions, and these are questions that the AMAC Foundation can help you with. I just want everyone out there to know that this is a free service. We do not sell you anything. The AMAC Foundation was built to serve and educate mature Americans, and we are so proud of the AMAC Social Security Advisory Service. If you haven't checked it out, give them a call. Let me give you that phone number. Grab a pen and paper and write this down. The number is 888-750-2622. That's 888-750-2622. So if you have a Social Security question and you don't know how to get that question answered, or you believe that you may have gotten misinformation, which we hear a lot often from AMAC members, we hear that they received the wrong information from the government, no less, please give us a call. Let us help you. We can give you advice. We can give you guidance. We can point you to the facts. Give the AMAC Foundation a call. Each and every week, we field hundreds of phone calls from AMAC members. Take advantage of this great service. You deserve to have every question answered as it relates to your Social Security. Give us a call. One more time, folks, take a pen and paper. The phone number is 888-750-2622. Give the AMAC Foundation a call for any question relating to Social Security. You won't regret it. Speaking of making a difference, I'm so excited to have with me today my friend and fitness mentor, Keith Booz. Welcome, Keith.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Awesome. Keith has been training others for nearly 35 years. He's the owner-operator of Brick Fit House on Long Island. And Keith, in 11th grade, like at the age of 16, you started your training career. Is that right?
This is accurate. I don't know how you knew that, but yeah. My father was an amateur bodybuilder in the 60s and the 70s, and he had a lot of notoriety on the island. People weren't really working out then, and it was in his home, and it was just me and him living there.
So it was sort of like almost like a habit in a sense, like you grew up around it. You were around it. It was everything you saw and did, and you had fun doing it.
Yeah, I was so super familiar and I needed to make money. So it's one of the only things I knew how to do.
Right.
So I started training friends, teammates.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
Yep.
I love it because I love being able to go to you for encouragement and to remind me that it's a new year, time to set new goals and all that good stuff. I want to talk to our listeners today about really healthy living and making it a priority in your life. You know, everybody wants to I think everybody wants to lose a few pounds. Everyone wants to feel stronger. Everyone wants to remember what it was like, you know, when we jumped out of bed without ever feeling any kind of ache or pain. But for people who have never had an exercise regime or routine, like what simple tips can you offer people today where they can literally change their life and go from having never done anything, like for many, many years, for 10 years, I did nothing.
Yeah.
To really changing my habits. What are some tips that you can share with our listeners?
It's interesting you brought that up because so many people, you know, ask that. And, you know, whenever I meet with somebody new, that is what is foremost is, you know, what could I do now? You know, I just want to feel better. I just want my quality of life better. I want to be able to play with my grandkids and not be beat up from it. I want to be able to shovel and not be so sore or whatever the case is. And you know, it doesn't have to be super fancy. It doesn't have to be a lot because like the U.S. Surgeon General recommends 30 to 60 minutes exercise a day. So that's for all of us every day. But what I advocate for people is to create the habit. And then I say, you know, do you know how to create a habit? Do you know?
Remind us.
Okay.
How do we create good habits?
The best way to create a habit is to do something for 30 days in a row. So if we do something for 30 days in a row, you can't stop. And that's a good place to be.
Sure.
And exercise and fitness can be like that. So what I tell people to do to get on the right track, to get that life back, you know, that quality of life back, is to do something every day, something a little bit every single day. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It just has to be a little bit every day. So what the U.S. Surgeon General recommends is 30 to 60 minutes a day. But I don't even advocate that. What I like to tell people is just do a little bit a day. That's right. 2 or 3 or 4 minutes a day. Because if we do something inch by inch, it is a cinch. But if we try to do yard by yard, it's really way too hard.
Oh, I love that.
And it really is the truth. And like, sometimes I'll ask people, would you go to sleep tonight without brushing your teeth?
Never.
Would you? Right. Why is that? Because it's a habit.
Right.
So fitness can be that way. But it doesn't.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so encouraging. So like, and I said this to Keith. I said, when I first began to get back into making exercise a priority for myself, I said to him, I don't feel like doing it today. I don't feel like it. I don't want to exercise today. And this was happening really a lot around the coronavirus when it was really even hard to do anything outside of your home. And you said to me, do something. If you can't get out, you can't leave your home, do something. And your tip of just, you know, whether it be climb the stairs instead of taking the elevator, you know, do some squats, right? Bang out 10 push-ups, whatever it is that you're comfortable doing. Of course, making sure that, you know, your doctor says it's okay for you to, you know, push yourself and exercise. You encourage that. And I love that because the reward, I feel like the reward for healthy, you know, staying in some sort of exercise routine, the reward comes after you do it. like nobody wants to get up and work out.
So right.
But after you've done it, suddenly, I mean, there are health benefits, right? Physical health benefits that you immediately realize.
Yeah.
What are some of those benefits? Like, how can we get people excited to do something?
Well,
get involved.
People will be really super excited if they have some degree of setting a plan and accomplishing it. So that accomplishment really gets people more excited than anything. And 30 days in a row, inch by inch, it is a cinch. Yard by yard, it's just way too hard. What a lot of people want to do is like, they figure they're pumped, jazzed, and psyched, and they just want to just do 30 minutes. They're doing it. They might as well make it worth their while. But in the beginning, we don't need that. In the beginning, we just need a little bit. It is enough to create the habit. 26 days in a row doesn't count. 13 days in a row without missing a day doesn't count. 30 days in a row counts. They've done studies on it. And if you or I or anybody else did 30 days in a row without missing, putting the sneakers on and doing something, you're not going to be able to stop on the 31st day. And that's a good place to be.
That is a great place to be. I love it. I love it. So I know a lot of people listening have tried all kinds of dieting tricks, and even friends of mine, they take diet pills, weight loss shakes are big these days. People are drinking muscle milks and thinking that they're going to put on muscle. I mean, a lot of people are, in my opinion, probably turning in the wrong, looking in the wrong place for better living, healthier living. Can you give us some feedback on what you think about really turning to those kinds of vices in order to either limit your calorie intake or, ramp up the metabolism? Is there anything really good out there, or are you a big believer in just really, doing the physical hard work? And is that enough?
Well, I am a big believer in doing the work, the physical work. I am big into that. It really does start with the habit. But getting back to your question, I'm a simple guy. Like, I'm not a real sharp, super guy. I'm experienced at what I do, yeah. But, I need something simple. I need bite-sized pieces myself. That's why I advocate that. And the 30 days in a row thing, I mean, I would tell you that. I would tell anybody that. I would tell my daughter that. I have told my daughter that. I would tell my son that. I would tell my great-grandfather that if he was still alive, because it really is the truth. And aside from that, if food is an issue, and a lot of people do have, those issues with food, and they work late and they come home and they're so hungry and they feel like they deserve to eat, or whatever the case is, or even if that's not the case, there's nothing like a food log. There's nothing to keep us responsible then. I eat it, write it. I drink it, write it down. You have a cookie, no big deal. Just write it down. You have another one, not that big of a deal. Just have another one. What it will do is it will keep us so responsible. And that responsibility will create good habits. Like the 30-day thing will create good habits. Outside of that, I always advocate half of our body weight in ounces of water a day. So if I'm 200 pounds, I'd really want to be drinking 100 ounces of water a day.
Wow. And that's a great tip too. Water is so key.
Yeah. You feel good. You have more energy. Go to the bathroom a lot. But because of that, you're raising your metabolism up each time. And between those three things, the water, the food log, the 30 days, it's pretty much fail-safe. I mean, I have seen people do that.
You hear that, guys? It's fail-safe. Yeah. 30 days of doing something, anything, even if it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That's right. Enough. 30 days of doing something for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever your time allows, makes a huge difference. Writing everything down makes you really accountable. It makes you recognize what it is that you ate, and maybe you had too much of it. And then certainly the third tip, water. So good. I think it's better than anything that they can sell you on, on the shelves. Just drink some good old water.
It really is. Help. You're so right. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're right. Capturing those three things that are really easy, simple, fundamental things. And, and I say 2, 3, or 4 minutes a day. I actually mean that. I've done that. I wake up early and I prepare and all these things. And then I try to do some degree of cardio. I do weight training later in the day, but there are some days where I only actually have 4 minutes. So I will do 4 minutes. There are some days where I only have 1 minute of time to do the cardio, and I have done 1 minute cardio. I have a buddy who started that 30-day thing. And I remember I used to have a gym years ago, and he would come in for 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, and he's on his 3,500th and something a day. So,
Wow.
so it really does work.
It really works.
Yeah.
I love it. What do you think? Can you share with us? What are some of the long-term health benefits of consistently exercising, but especially for people over the age of 50? Because what happened to me was about 4 or 5 years ago, I recognized that I was definitely losing my strength. I'm 50 years old now, so I was in my 40s, and I said, whoa, something's going on. It had been about 10 years since I had exercised, and I did adopt, and your 3 tips. I began to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
I began to do something every day for 30 days. I actually did lose 20 pounds, but over about a year and a half, over about 18 months of just doing those 3 things and writing things down, being more cognizant of what I was actually eating. But for people over the age of 50, I know the question would be, maybe, should I be doing more cardio? Should I be doing more weightlifting? Is there balance or benefit for doing both? And how do we know what to do?
I'm glad you brought that up. Like I said, I do some cardio every day, but that's just really for my mental clarity so that the day's not hurting me as much. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing like the strength training. There's nothing that can beat the benefit that you get with strength training. Because what we could do with the weight training, with the strength training, you can get through any other form of exercise. If we're doing it proper, if we're doing it the right way, you get the benefit of getting stronger. For people over 40, 50, we lose muscle at a rate that's significant. And you want to have that muscle on you.
Right.
You don't want to be tight, because when we lose our muscle, we get tight. We get weak.
Sure.
And that's another disadvantage of not doing it. And when you get weak, you become inflexible. And that's just not really a great place to be. And there's something about, people when they feel their strength and they feel their muscles, that's something that cardio cannot do for us, is build our muscle. So that's pretty integral in definitely what we need, at least 2 or 3 times a week. Muscle, after we work on muscles, like let's say you worked out this morning, 5 days after today, those muscles start to atrophy. They atrophy, they get weaker, they get smaller, and all those, negative things start happening to us. So we really need to work the muscles that we want to work at the least.
That's great.
Twice a week.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little cardio is good, but picking up really light dumbbells, for example, is a great thing to do. And some advice that Keith gave to me at one point was, if you only have 5-pound dumbbells or 3-pound dumbbells, just do as many as you can do. In other words, it doesn't have to be all that heavy. You can push yourself in different ways. I have a funny story. My grandmother, if she was alive with us today, what would she be? I guess 100 years old or close to it. She passed about 4 years ago. My grandmother passed away. She lived such a good long life because she exercised every day. People would say, well, what did she do when she was 80, 85, 90 years old? Simple things. She'd lay out on the floor and stretch. She'd practice getting up off the floor, using her strength in her legs without, using her arms. She insisted on opening up all of her own cans, and because that was challenging for her to have the strength to be able to open up a jar of, say, mayonnaise or something. So I think that you do want to challenge yourself. You want to remain positive, but you absolutely can change your physical health through smart, diet. And I call it diet. I don't like the word diet. I don't like that word diet. So we won't say diet, but through healthy eating, through good choices, and through steady, consistent exercise, and making a commitment to creating good habits.
They really are. And I wanted to say, because you brought it up when you were talking about your 5-pound dumbbells, a lot of people are like, well, I don't have access to a gym or anything like that. The thing that builds muscle is variety or progression. So something in the way of your workout has to be more. There's a principle. It's called progressive overload. And what that basically states is that we have to work our muscle beyond what it's capable of. And then what will happen is that muscle will grow back stronger to handle that load. So in order to build more muscle and more muscle fibers, we have to present another stimulus that's greater than that. and then the muscle will grow back to handle that. So variety or increasing somewhere. Something has to be progressive. So progressive could be in the way of the amount of reps you do. Of course, it could be the amount of weight you do. Like, let's say you're doing the 5s, we could do 6 or 7. Or it could be the amount of sets that we do. Or it could just be something different that works the same muscle. Like maybe, you could do dips, up against the windowsill. You could also do push-ups. Those kind of things work all the pushing muscle groups. So whatever is different, variety and progression, those are the ways to build and maintain muscle as we age or just in general.
And it is so important. Your health is so important. It's especially important when we know that, our exercise and healthy eating definitely boosts our immune system. We want strong immune system now, especially with this virus out there. And it also will, you'll get the reward after you do it. So make today, this great day in January, make today a different day. Make today the first day that you commit to doing something every single day for 30 days without giving up. Keith is telling us that creates a habit. Drink your water. What's the formula?
And
on the water? On the water intake?
Well, it's, no, I'm glad you said that. It's half of our body weight in ounces of water a day. It has to be that, not the water that you use in your coffee. Measure it. Half of your body weight. Weigh yourself. If you're 150 pounds, we want to definitely have at the least 75 ounces of water. And if you're working out every day, has to be more than that.
Okay. I need to drink more water for sure. But drinking water, doing something every day for 30 days, changing it up is okay. It's actually preferred to change up the type of thing you do every day, to build that muscle. Do that every day. Drink your water and really just remind yourself that you can do it. No more excuses, right? This is going to be a great year, 2021. We want to come into it healthy. We want to keep that virus away. Thank you so much for being with us today,
Thank you for
Keith.
having
This
me.
is great. If you all like Keith, like the button at the bottom of your screen and share this podcast. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Better for America podcast. To learn more about AMAC and all it has to offer, visit us at www.amac.us.